Welcome to the 6th edition of Let's Chat, a new series of short video interviews launched by the French-American Chamber of Commerce New England to put our members in the spotlight. I'm Jeff Plunkett, a board member and secretary of FACCNE, the leading nonprofit organization connecting French and American leaders in New England. I'm delighted to have as our guest on this 14th of July, the French national holiday, Arnaud Mentré, the Consul General of France in Boston. Welcome, cher Arnaud, and thanks for joining us today, and happy Bastille Day.
Well, thank you for having me, Jeff, and happy Bastille Day to all the Francophones and Francophiles of New England.
Arnaud, you came to Boston as Consul General in 2018, after having served as Deputy Assistant Secretary for North America in the Bureau of the Americas at the French Ministry for Europe and Foreign Affairs, and were responsible for bilateral relationships with the US and Canada. You have a great deal of experience in transatlantic relationships. What strikes you most about the environment and ecosystem in Boston, New England, and the USA?
Precisely. The ecosystem here is extremely vibrant, and that's a great point of interest for all the actors dealing with the transatlantic relations. There has been many cooperation going on, and over the last 2 years, we have developed those partnerships between the French ecosystem and the Bostonian ecosystem, and I'd like to continue that way. We've got incubators from Boston which decided to invest in France and open branches there. We've got VCs here interested in what's happening in France right now with President Macron's innovation agenda. So all this is very positive. Obviously, the current situation has curbed this evolution, but the basis is very sound. So I'm pretty sure once the sanitary conditions allow, it will kickstart again.
And as you mentioned, France and the US have a history of innovation. What have you observed about French companies here in New England, in the New England area?
Well, there's a strong French presence here in New England with the large French groups. Everybody knows about Sanofi and Ipsen, our big pharmas, which have been very present here in Boston. But there are also some very large groups such as Dassault Systèmes, the global leader in terms of 3D modelization, or Natixis Investment Managers, two very large companies that have chosen Boston as their US home. And then we've got all those new innovative companies which opened branches in Boston. They chose Boston over other cities in the US for various reasons, but also because it's very close to Europe. And so it's very easy to commute between Boston and Paris in particular. So all those companies are now together in a community called the French Tech community, very close to FACCNE, and so it's really it's great to see all those entrepreneurs working on very innovative, inspiring activities.
Well, there are certainly challenges for companies that have offices in both Europe and the US, whether sales offices, research and development, or manufacturing operations. What do you think are the biggest challenges, and have you noticed any practices that appear most successful?
Well, there are pressing challenges right now with the travel restrictions and the visa restrictions, because most of these companies follow the same pattern. They have a very successful technology that they developed in France, and we've got a pretty good system to create startups, especially deep tech startups. And then they come to the US, they open branches in the US. Generally, the US branch, at least at the beginning, has a strong emphasis as a commercial branch, while R&D activities are in France. And then gradually, they develop the two branches on the two sides of the Atlantic in a pretty much equal way. So this pattern has been on for many years. It has benefited both sides of the Atlantic, but right now the travel restrictions and the visa restrictions make it much more difficult. They found solution with remote working, but again, they still those travels are very important to this model.
I agree totally. If I understand correctly, there are around 20,000 French citizens in the New England area. What have been the most pressing concerns for them during the COVID crisis, and how has the consulate been able to help?
I think it's the same concerns, the one I mentioned for companies. Travel restrictions and visa restrictions are really on the top of the list of their concerns. You know, there are many examples of French families that left France with visas, non-immigrant visas, to help open those American branches I mentioned of these innovative French companies. Usually, one of the founders come to the US, settle in the US at least for a few years, open the US branch, hire people, and create this environment. And most of the time, then the founder comes back to France and creates another company. So all this is called into question with the visa restrictions and the travel restrictions, and so that's really on the top of their concerns. There are other concerns, of course, with the EU, which closed its borders after the US closed its borders, and the consulate has tried to solve all the individual solutions and to find appropriate solutions for everyone. So it's consular affairs have really taken center stage now in our activity, and we try and find solutions for everyone.
Well, thanks so much, Arnaud, for sharing your perspectives. FACCNE appreciates very much the support of the consulate. For more information, please visit FACCNE's website at FACCNE.org, where you can learn more about our activities and how we can assist your business, join our email list, and obtain an individual or corporate membership.
Thank you, Jeff. Hope to see you soon.